Good morning, LKN. 8:34. Happy Thursday to you. Babes, you've been here a while.
I've been here a minute.
I've been here a while.
Yeah.
There's some families who have been here a long time.
There are.
Like so long, I don't even know how long they've been here. One of those families is the Knox family. We're honored to be joined this morning by Charles Knox of the Knox Group Commercial Real Estate in studio this morning. Charles, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me today.
We've hung out a couple of times. I don't know why you keep wanting to be willing to hang out with me, but I'm grateful for it. You're one of the most genius minds in real estate that I have met, and I say that because you're a humble man, you're very kind with your time, and you clearly understand and you get it. For those that don't know, the Knox Group and the Knox family, could you share some of the history? You don't have to give the 20th generation down the line, but give us kind of the general history, because the Knox family is very, very involved and intricate to the success that the Lake Norman community has had over the years.
Well, certainly the family's been here a lot longer than the lake. I think we got here in the 1700s. I have a family history. I should have brought it. But it's a big family farm. We grew up in a farming community. So my dad was one of 8. His dad was one of 12. So there's quite a big family spread out around this region. And I would say 75% of us still live within about 10 or 15 miles of where we're sitting right now. So.
A big piece of that is real estate. What was was it just natural for you? Have you always been interested in real estate, or did you kind of fight against the family business at first? Like, I want to be a firefighter. And then you came back and were like, no, I'm going to do real estate.
Oddly enough, my father was an attorney, and I assumed I'd be an attorney. I grew up in Charlotte, actually, and went to Davidson, so I didn't even make it out of Mecklenburg County for the first 21 years of my life. And by happenstance, we went to vacation with one of my dad's clients who'd retired to Hawaii and had made quite a bit of money in real estate. And I was talking to the patriarch about what I was going to do with my career, and he said, you ought to really look at real estate. My son has a company in San Diego, and we still have property in North Carolina. Perhaps you could live in San Diego and take care of our North Carolina properties. And I thought, I went out there in February to interview with him. It was 64, sunny. I could see snow in the mountains. I could see the palm trees. And I thought, this looks better than law school. So I had a complete direction correction by accident.
And it's obviously panned out pretty well for you at this point. The Knox Group Commercial Real Estate. So what's the status of the team? Who's on the team? And kind of what are you up to these days with the Knox Group?
Well, our team is about 12 members. We're a majority female now, which is nice because I hate to say it, but women are better than men at most things.
At some things, right?
Most things,
at some things,
at
yeah.
most things.
All right, calm it down.
It is Women's History Month, so it's okay to say all month long.
But I do have I have two cousins, Gary and Steve, who've been in the company for quite a while. I actually started the company with my father in 1991. Steve joined in 95. Gary, I think, about 5 years later. But we have property management, we have development, and we have the brokerage work. So, our business varies on what we're doing at any given time, but we're doing 2 developments right now, one in Davidson. We're just completing the shell construction. We did a partnership with Story Hill Church, which was a neat opportunity because the town didn't want that prominent site on South Main Street to just be a church because it would take it off the tax rolls. I don't blame them. So the church came up with the idea with the town to do a commercial building in the front, and they came to us and said, we think you've done a good job with the 2 buildings across the street. You guys might be familiar with where Carburritos is located.
Oh, I'm familiar with the sauces.
Oh, yeah.
Best sauces in town, salsas in town. But we built those 2 buildings, and then so we got the opportunity to do a new one.
It seems like you care about quality when you look at the buildings and the projects you choose. Are you at a stage of if you're going to do a project, it's got to be unique? Is that really what you're looking for now at this stage?
Yeah, going back to my roots in San Diego, the developer I was with out there was very much into design, and so I kind of morphed into that. I had some opportunities along the line after we started our company to do what I call more cookie cutter type developments. We even considered getting into mini storage, and there's nothing wrong with mini storage. It's a need. It just wasn't. It didn't trip my trigger. I want to do something that makes the community better, look better, feel better. It's just sort of in my DNA. Some people say I'm not money motivated. I want to make money. I've done it enough for practice, but I am not somebody who wants to go out and build 50 mini warehouses because I could make a lot more money doing it. I probably could have made a lot more money doing it, frankly. But that's just not what my company's about. My company is about being focused on the local market and trying to make the community a better place.
We're talking with Charles Knox of the Knox Group Commercial Real Estate. KnoxGroupInc.com is the website. You got a couple of buildings that are up and going on here in the local area between Davidson and Cornelius. Can you share with us those two projects that you got going on?
Yeah, so 480 South Main is the one we did with the Story Hill Church. Again, the one of the unique parts of that is they needed a lot of parking on Sunday, and we need a lot of parking the other 5 days or 6 days of the week. And most towns don't like you to have much parking, but this worked out great because we're sharing the parking lot. We've got Davidson Wealth Management as anchor in the building. They're going to take most of the top floor. We have a Novant private concierge practice going into the building. We just signed this week a restaurant, which I can't talk too much details about because the restaurateur asked me not to announce it until they're a little closer to having design and ready to start construction. But we're excited about it. It's a new concept that's not in the market, and that's sort of hard to find. It's steakhouses and Italian and Mexican, there's a lot of all of those, but this one will be something that Lake Norman doesn't have.
You mentioned like Davidson Wealth Management. You mentioned Nova. I mean, those are like legacy style potential tenants. What's that like finding tenants these days? Is that hard? Is it easier? What's that like?
The market's been a little bit up and down ever since COVID. Even before COVID, the market in real estate has changed a lot. We thought for a while that retail was going to die completely because of Amazon and deliveries from Walmart. It seems to have come back some, and then we thought office would never have a problem, and now with COVID and half the people going home to work, it has shifted the office market quite a bit. Now, having said that, it's impacted the market more in like uptown Charlotte or the university area than it has in our market because we're a small business. For the most part, small business.
We say boutique.
Boutique. Oh, I like that word. I like that word. Boutique market. So you can't. As a doctor, you still want to go see your doctor. Wealth management folks still need a place to do business because that's just the nature of their business. So, I think it's changed, but it's still not. It's never easy. All the easy stuff's done, but I would say that. There's still enough tenants in this market, and we're still growing enough with people moving here and businesses wanting to expand.
Well, so you mentioned demand. Do you think, based on what you're seeing, let's say commercial specific, residential, I think it's easy to say that you can look at numbers and say, yeah, demand is still. Commercial, do you think demand is still here for people wanting, like, potential big retailers? People talk about Trader Joe's all the time around here. You know that. Is there still demand from the players that want to be in the community here, would you say?
Yes, I think so. And Trader Joe's is a good example. They have kicked around a lot of different sites up here. They have looked. I know we don't do a great deal of retail, but we do enough to try to keep our finger on the pulse. It's interesting. When I first got in the business in the early mid '90s, you couldn't talk people. We did the Liverpool development right at Exit 28, and we had a hard time convincing Pizza Hut to come to Cornelius. And then
now Pizza Hut in the 90s, though. Come on, Charles.
Exactly.
That was
Right?
bad.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was hard because they did demographic studies, and these real estate reps for these big companies are sitting in whatever city they're based in, and they get hundreds of submittals a day, and the first thing they look at is what's the demographics. Well, when half your 5-mile radius is under Lake Norman, it skews the numbers, and they didn't realize it's a regional draw. That was the busiest Pizza Hut for a while in the whole chain.
Really?
Yeah, and then now it's shut down because no one goes into a restaurant to eat pizza unless it's a boutique.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's right.
Leños or Brooklyn South,
That's
something like that. So it's an interesting. The market always shifts. Real estate's probably maybe the oldest profession. I don't know. It's pretty close, but it'll shift and continue to shift. There's still people wanting to move here, and it's very difficult to get projects approved in the Lake Norman area. People, I say they've moved here from somewhere else, and now they don't want anyone else to move here, so they put pressure on the public officials not to approve anything sometimes. But it's a challenge, definitely.
Oak Street Mill, we got about 30 seconds. Share with us about that project.
Okay, so Oak Street Mill is a it's going to be a fun one. It's 125 years old. The one section, the new section is 100 years old, and we're going to renovate. We've got restaurants, Dutchman's moving from the other side of the interstate, and they're going to take the whole top floor, which used to be the antique mill. We're super excited. They've actually moved into a temporary space because their lease was up and we couldn't get the permits in time to get them in, and so we've got them in already. So a lot of exciting things going on in that project.
Charles Knox of the Knox Group Commercial Real Estate, knoxgroupinc.com. A couple of wonderful projects going on, many more in the works. Understands, obviously has a great pulse on the real estate market and what's going on. Thank you for continuing to care about quality, because I will say it is an effect. When you have a quality project come in, we have seen, even in the short time, look at 10 years, what the difference makes when you really try to bring in quality products. So we appreciate you for that, Charles. And thanks for coming to share with us this morning.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Charles Knox, the Knox Group Commercial Real Estate, knoxgroupinc.com.